Really long cast time by itself. Super long, right? Super long. Slow as shit. But how about this? Look at that. That's like twice as fast. Is it R1? There we go. Animation cancel, baby. We're back. None of these staves matter. None of them have passives. In base Elden Ring, you're probably used to these things having passives, like Godslayer Seal boosting Godslayer incantations by 15%, Gravelstone Seal boosting Lightning Spear or Dragon Coal incantations by 15%, Lusat's doing more damage for a higher FP cost, Azure's Glintstone Staff giving you increased cast speed. From my testing, and you can test this yourself, if you have two spells that do the exact same thing on two different staffs, the only reason they do different damage is because of the sorcery scaling. Lightning Spear on my Gravelstone, and I have double Gravelstones. In base Elden Ring, this would multiply your damage by 32%, right? 15 for each, it's multiplicative. So having one seal in your offhand and one seal in your main hand would boost your damage by 32% technically. In this game, it doesn't. 382 is my damage. If I take one seal and I put it away, it is still 382 on a full Lightning Spear. So that is kind of proof right there that the passives don't work, because they always work in your offhand unless it has something like this on it, like Power of the Full Moon. You see how like this has like a built-in passive like that? If it doesn't have a passive attached to it down there, like see how it's blank? That means it doesn't have a passive. It does nothing. And all that matters really is your sorcery scaling or your incant scaling. Bottom line is, the bigger the number for incant scaling and the bigger the number for sorcery scaling, the better it is. It doesn't matter what staff you have it on. Some staffs just happen to have more or higher frequent sorcery scaling than others. So by maxing out by maxing out like a Carrion Glintblade staff and maxing out the starter staff, you're obviously going to have more scaling. So the staffs matter just in the sense that they have higher sorcery scaling potential, but they don't matter for passives at all. Just before I get into this, I will say that this is like just my opinion. A lot of people are going to be like, well, I like this spell or I like this spell better. And it's like, okay, if you like that spell and I don't, feel free to use it, you know, knock yourself out. It's pretty much based on like FP efficiency, I would say, is the main criteria is how efficient is it to cast, as in how much FP does it cost? Because when you restore your FP with your magic passive right here, the way that you can tell and actually calculate how this works is if you go here and you get a standard Recluse starting staff with Glintstone Pebble. Glintstone Pebble costs 7 mana, right? It should cost 7 FP. So with just Glintstone Pebble as your like benchmark, right? 7, I can cast it 3 times. 1, 2, 3, right? So that's 7, 7, 7, 21. Oh, that's not what I meant to do. And then restore it. Oh, that restores all 21. That's how you know if something's FP efficient. If it can be used with 21 FP or less and give you all of your mana back in a single cast like this, or even multiple casts like 1, 2, like that, that is considered FP efficient. Now into the criteria, right? Like, and just because it's FP efficient doesn't mean it's always going to be OP. Like Swift Glintstone is a good example of something that's super FP efficient, but not really that good of a spell. Same with Glintstone Stars again, and like Crystal Barrage. Like, just because it's FP efficient doesn't mean it's like always good. So there we go. You can see all the pretty names: Carrion Slicer S, Bob's Barrier D, Crystal Barrage. Stars of Ruin is A. If it's not on a good high scaling staff, I actually don't think it's that OP. Like if your Stars of Ruin is on like a really shitty staff, like I had my Stars of Ruin on an Albinauric staff one time. That shit had really low sorcery scaling, and even when I maxed it out, it wasn't that good. Flint Blades, kind of for the FP costs. I don't know. I'm not a fan of these. Let me keep the sorcery tab open though while I look at these. Just to double check them. 18, 24, 30. Yeah, they're not FP efficient. They're also just aren't super worth it. If you can get them out of, I would prefer these as passives. The one that you get as a passive is pretty good. These ones, they have good posture damage, but I don't think I'm too like obsessed with the posture damage on them. I think it's just a matter of an opinion. I don't know. I don't like them. I wouldn't really want to do my FP on them. I think they're better spells to cast. Common Azure D. It's bait. It's such bait. Even in a group setting or solo setting, doesn't matter. Glintblade's A. I like this one. That one's really strong. Dark Moon, again, these are just really long cast times, really high mana cost, kind of hard to get off. You can get canceled. I don't believe you have hyper armor or any sort of like poise while casting either, so you just get canceled really easily. Swift Glintstone Shard is kind of mid. It's low FP, easy cast, but not a whole lot of damage, and I don't think it's really worth it. Arc is S. Terra Magica. I would prefer the Mark or the Relic version, so honestly, I feel like I'll just keep it at B. Scarlet Shield, like, I mean, this is good. if you have a shield and you need a shield. It's really, really good for absorbing guard boost and not draining your stamina. Right next to each other, right below each other. Loretta's Mastery, again, this is like one of those things that's just like super long cast time. Super hard to get off. If you can get it off, it's not bad, but like, you know, then you have to think about FP efficiency and if it's worth it. It's 39 FP. It can be worth it. I don't think it's bad. I would put it in like B tier. Scholar's Armament, I mean, you don't really ever need that. Shattered Earth is the bad one, but the Rock Blast is really good, actually. I really like this one. I think that's pretty good. Galivheima, also kind of B tier. Crystal Burst, D. Sun Stars, D. Shard Spiral can be like high B or A, depending on, it really depends on the enemy that you're fighting. I really like the Spiral, but it's not good against every enemy. It's just good against like the really fat enemies. So I would put it like B, maybe A. I could put it A. Comet is very, very strong. Nearly FP efficient. I think that warrants it a pretty high A. Comet Shard is my favorite. Super high damage. Always FP efficient. Super good. Great Bow, kind of I don't really like the single one. I'm going to be honest. That's just a personal preference. I don't like the single one. I don't think it's good. Rain of Stars, kind of bad because you can just get that as a passive while walking and it's way better. Free cast, no mana. So I really don't like Rain of Stars. Cannon of Haima, really good for clearing. I love that for clearing stuff. It does so much damage. I'm even tempted to put it at A tier, but as far as the FP cost goes, it's not FP friendly. Star Shower. I like Star Shower actually a lot. I think Star Shower is really good. It's almost FP efficient. I would put it like at the top of B. Great Glintstone Shard. Put an S as well. These are both very strong, high scaling spells. Very low FP costs. Magic Downpour. I don't like it. Pebble. My goat, Pebble. Love Pebble. Absolute goat. Bubble. I don't know. Maybe I'm underrating the bubbles. Maybe I'm underrating them. I'll have to try them in a run soon. I haven't tested them enough. I'll put them at like a C tier for now, or I'll put them at low B. I think if you set them up in a bunch and have the boss run into them, if they can take that like overlapping damage, you know what I mean? Like sometimes they can't take like multiple explosions at once because they have like a hit stun. So I don't know if you can really, I don't know how many you can stack. Like if they can be hit by all of the projectiles or just like some at a time. You know what I mean? Briars of Punishment. I like Briars of Punishment. I think it can be good. I think Briars of Sin is the one I don't like because it's melee range and very long cast time. But Briars, you could B for Briar. Why not? Put these there. B for Briar. Adula's kind of B as well. Not bad. Kind of fast. Got the Frostbite. A little bit of range on it too. Crystal Torrent. It's a C tier. It's not bad, but it's not like super amazing. It kind of roots you in place. So you have to have, it's like a long cast time where you stand still. Meteorite, D. Rancor Call, D. Ancient Rancor Call might be like a B. Just because of the stance damage and like the multi-hit projectiles can be decent. And the good tracking. Eternal Darkness, I think if you know exactly what spells you can absorb, sure. I'll put that as C, but I don't think it's super worth it. To me, Eternal Darkness feels like a PvP, like counterspell. It can be done versus some bosses, but I mean, if you want to gamble and see what you can block and what you can't block, you know, be my guest. Explosive Ghost Flame, I don't like that one. Gravity Well, it's okay. I'll put it in B, actually. It's all right. Tibia. Rock Sling, I'll put that in B as well. Frozen Armament, kind of just don't really need that. Ice Rag, that's going up to S tier, actually. Love Ice Rag. Where's the Ice Rag at? How much is that? 12 FP? Hell yeah. Super FP efficient. That's a S tier. Easy. Meteor of Astil? No. I don't care. That one sucks. Night Maiden's Miss, super slept on. I'm gonna put this in A tier. I love Night Maiden's Miss. It's kind of, for me, I guess, if I had to pick between Night Maiden's Miss and Bubble, it's kind of like the same thing. I like Night Maiden's Miss because it's like a field of damage and it doesn't go away. Like it lasts like 30 seconds, dude. This lasts such a long time. And it's like constant tick damage. It just melts bosses for me. I love this. It's also FP efficient. So honestly, I might put that in an S tier. It's FP efficient. I just realized it's only 20 FP for a single cast. As long as you're not charging it. I think charging it costs more FP, but a light tap should be fully FP efficient. And it generates magic constantly. Actually, yeah, that's easy S tier. Night Comet. I I'm tempted to put that in A. I think it does cost a lot of FP, but it should be A. Yeah, that's like, no, I think it'll be S. That's S as well. Wait, no. Collapsing Stars is literally kind of worse. Gravity Well is better. It does more damage. Or like, this is like, Gravity Well does like 360, and this does like 480. But like, more FP, less FP, longer cast time, shorter cast time. Yeah. Crystal Release, it's okay. It's not the worst. Also, left to right doesn't really matter. I'm not going to focus on left to right. I'm not going to focus on that. Short A. Retaliation, Green Piercer. It can be good. I like Piercer. I like Grey Sword. They're okay. They're not bad. Freezing Mist can be decent. Ice Storm I don't like at all. Too long of a cast time. You're going to get canceled. You're going to get hit. But it's decent if you get it off. Magma Shot. I love Magma Shot. I'm putting that in A. Actually, is that FP? Hold on. I might put Magma Shot in A. I love Magma Shot, dude. I started loving it a lot more. Yeah. 16 FP. Dare I put it in S? No. But it's a really good... Okay, the reason I like Magma Shot is not because of its damage, but because it's constant tick damage that allows you to always absorb like a fire element. Like you can absorb multiple fire elements at once, which is super important, especially for sustaining mana. So like, for example, if I do this, right? Let's say I miss the target, I hit him, bonus damage and tick damage on both of these. So now this gives me fire and this gives me fire. And I just like it for that. I really like that for that. Yeah, I like that for that. I might put that in S tier. Would that be crazy? I like it. I like it. Fuck it. It's my tier list. Ambushard. I've already said why I don't like Ambushard. It's supposed to be like a counter spell for people that are like shielded, but like it just does so little damage that I feel like it's just not even worth using. It's so little damage. Even against shielded characters, I'd rather just break their posture with like a rock sling or something else. I don't know. Rykard's Rancor. That's probably a spell that's only good on bosses. I haven't used Rykard. I actually have not found Rykard's Rancor. Oh, Rykard's Rancor. I haven't found that. Yeah, Rykard's Rancor is going to be a thing that's like only good against bosses. I'll probably put that in like B. I've never seen it either, so I don't think it's that good. Gelmir's Fury. Rolling Magma can be good too. I like Rolling Magma, but Gelmir's Fury I don't like. It's the one where you stand still, right? Like Gelmir's Fury, you have to stand completely still, I'm pretty sure, to cast it, and I don't like that. Shattering Crystal. Easy A. I love Shattering Crystal. It is so good for clearing out early game mobs. If you find this in like a early like level 3, because you can start using this at level 3. So if you get it at level 3, you can just like one-shot most of the early game enemies. All right, so here's my tier list for sorceries. We'll do incantations next. I'll probably find like a link or make like this screenshot into like a link or something. I don't know. But yeah, here's what we got so far. These ones should be the only ones that you look out for anyways. You probably don't even need to worry about the D tier. Just keep an eye out. Like anything from like the S tier, A tier is like always get these, always keep these. If you find them, use them. And then B tier is kind of like, sure, if you got nothing else, these are pretty good. These are decent. If you have literally nothing else, again, left to right doesn't matter. This doesn't matter. That's done. Let's go incantations now. All right, we're going into the incantation tier list. Again, this is only for Recluse. I didn't mention it earlier like I did with the spells for the sorceries, so I'm just going to go over everything all together at once with the tier list here and explain why I think they're good, why I think they're important for you to take as a Recluse, and all that stuff. Got the disc with Revenant. Dude, it's my favorite spell. It's one of my favorites, and in fact, I'll put that in S tier right now. One of the lowest FP costs in the game. Good source of holy damage and holy affinity so that you can absorb it. Hold on, let me uncrop it. I love Discus of Light, and I think this is something that the Revenant should start with. I don't know why they don't have the Revenant start with this, but to make the Revenant feel way better than she currently does, I think you should give her Discus of Light at the start. I think giving her Rejection and like Urgent Heal is really, really bad. She should be the one character that has instant access to holy damage of any type, because nobody in this game naturally has access to holy damage. You have access to everything else very easily except holy damage, unless you put it on like a weapon affinity, but I don't really count that. I'm talking about like in general, like spells, right? Like the Recluse gets instant access to magic damage. I think inversely the Revenant should get instant access to holy damage, at least a little bit. But yeah, Blackblade, Discus of Light, instant S tier, just holy damage, even ignoring the FP cost of the Blackblade. I really like it. I actually think it goes really, really far, so you can back up a little bit and Also, it just saps their HP, percent HP, holy damage, just super good. If maybe A, depending on the cast time. If not S tier, I would definitely put it A tier, like at the top. The problem with the heal and defense ones is that these defense ones really depend on the bosses. Like, I'm not going to say Barrier of Gold is bad, because Barrier of Gold is still really good if you're, you know, like against a boss that uses magic, but like, that's kind of like a player knowledge check. Like, do you know what damage type this boss is even doing to you? Right? Like, are you even able to tell, like, oh, this boss is going to be doing magic damage to me on this move, or like sometimes it doesn't, sometimes it does physical damage. Like, it's not bad, but just for the sake of simplicity, I'm going to put things like Urgent Heal and like all of these like defensive things probably just in C, because they really do depend. Like, I think regen is best. I think regen's always the best. So Blessing Boon like is just always going to be better than like healing, in my opinion, because it just ticks. I love regen. Protect, like these are just kind of like, they're not bad, but it's very situational, especially for like heal, urgent heal. I think you could put urgent heal in like A, just because it's like low FP cost, fast casting. It really does matter though about like the heal and the amount that you're getting back from it. So I would put urgent heal like A. It's just hard to rank the healing and the defensive spells because it's like very situational and in the middle of the pack. I would just put all the defensive spells like that. Urgent heal being the best just because it's fast and low. That's how I would rank them. Golden Vow's nice. Kind of high FP cost. Elden Stars. I don't think Elden Stars is particularly that good. I would put it in C tier. It could be good for enemies that are really, really weak to holy. Decent tracking. Constant holy ticks as well. So if you do manage to get the cast off, it will repeatedly do holy damage that you can absorb, but a little bit inconsistent in my opinion. Again, all of these supportive spells, I'm just going to put in C tier because it's like, if you want to use them, you use them. It's super situational. It's really just up to you. If you're playing by yourself, they might not be as effective since some of these do have AoE ally properties. So I feel like you're not really going to get the most out of them, most value out of them by yourself. And if we rate it by itself, then most of these healing spells would just be D tier for the FP costs, right? But yeah. Black Flame Blade, no. You should never really even be using like armaments as a mage. I mean, you can, but whatever. Lightning Spear, S. Love that. Flamefall Upon Thee. I don't hate that spell, but I don't really see it enough to accurately rate it. Honestly, I've gotten like a few times. It's like a shotgun. It's kind of like the crystal burst, but like fire version. And this is also kind of situational. I'll put it in B. If the enemy is really fat and thick, like a ulcerated tree spirit or a Erdtree avatar, amazing. But if it's like a skinny, you're gonna miss most of it, even if you try to shotgun it. Again, Order Blade, whatever. It could be decent though if you want holy damage. Flame of the Fell God, mid. I don't like the Black Flame. I hate the Black Flame. Scouring Black Flame is annoying. Yeah, charging it makes it wider, but I think it still goes the same distance. So it just makes it a little bit wider. I don't know. I don't like the cast time on it. I think I'll put it up in like C tier at the top. I think it's okay. Personally, it's just not my favorite spell. I would rather just use regular Black Flame, which I'll put in A tier automatically. If not S tier. Let me double check that. I love regular Black Flame. It's got longer range. It's like really consistent to hit, really good damage. It also is FP efficient. I'll put that in S actually. I'll put the Black Flame, the regular one in S. I think that one's amazing. I love that one. Giant Slim Take Thee. It's kind of like a B tier thing as well. Surgo Flame. Isn't that basically the same as the other one? That's like the flamethrower one, right? That's like, yeah, it's like a mini flamethrower. That one's like mid. It's the reason I don't like it. It's got like a really weird short range. It's like a constant like AoE fire. It's not bad, but it's definitely like one of the lesser desirable ones, if that makes sense. I would still put it like right here. I love Black Flame Ball. Flame Grant Me Strength is weird because you won't really be able to use it like efficiently because I'm pretty sure it's only physical damage boost, right? Isn't it only physical damage and fire damage? It's not. It doesn't help magic damage. But it also gives you stamina regen, which is, you know, can be nice. Black Flame Ritual. This can be good. It's like a standing hitbox. Black Flame Ritual has a standing hitbox, so like even if you don't get the cast off in front of them, because it is like a melee range spell, outrange it. You just put that down, kind of walk away, kite it around it, even play around it. Very good defensive spell. I like it. I think it's pretty good. It's better than Scouring Black Flame in my opinion. I like the standing hitbox that it has. It just feels nice because enemies will run into it. They will. Super big AoE. I'll put it in B though. I don't think it's like super amazing, but it's definitely a B tier. Electrify Armament, same thing. All of these like supportive spells are just kind of hit or miss depending on context or situation. Flame Sling is good. I'll put that in B. I like Flame Sling. I think it's very efficient for FP cost and also can be very, very good. Very strong source of fire damage early on. I honestly might put that in A. I like it. I like Flame Sling. It's not better than Black Flame in my opinion, but like if you have Flame Sling, why not? I would take Black Flame over it though. I think Black Flame is just superior in most ways. I could be wrong, but... All right, here's the hard part. Man. These lightning spells are something special. These lightning spells are definitely something special. Because on the one hand, Ancient Dragon's Lightning Spear does really, really good damage. On the other hand, it takes like 5 years to cast, and if a boss is like, if you're fighting against a boss, it doesn't have much range. It doesn't give you a lot of hyper armor to the point where a boss won't knock you out of it. I think little enemies will have a hard time knocking you out of it because of the hyper armor that it can give you, but a boss is always just gonna like smack your shit whenever you do this. Like best case scenario, you get the damage off and then you get hit. One of these, like Ancient Dragon's Lightning Spear, point blank, best case scenario, 401 damage. Lightning Spear with range, fully charged, 325. Slightly better cast time, got better range. You know, I would not really consider this a viable spell. I think it's fun for clearing out like camps, but I can't rate it super seriously. Like I would put this probably in C tier. It's good for clearing out camps and smaller enemies. Maybe if you're in a group and you can get it off without like pulling aggro, sure, but super long cast time, super short range, and high FP cost is going to give it a C tier. I don't like it. I've used it plenty of times. It's just super inconsistent. Kind of all of the Ancient Dragon spells are. Hone Bolt is also going to be like a B tier. It's not bad, but very short range. You'll be surprised how short this range is. It's a lot shorter than you might think it should be. I do like it though, because there is like a little tech with this, and this is something that got patched out of base Elden Ring. So I might actually end up doing a disservice by showing you guys this, because this might get patched out. Because I'm pretty sure you can't do this in modern Elden Ring. Like I'm pretty sure they got rid of spell canceling, and that looks something like this. Is it R1? There we go. Animation cancel, baby. We're back. For some reason, From Software doesn't like that interaction. They actually patched it out of a lot of live Elden Ring like base game content. I'm pretty sure you can't do that in base Elden Ring. I could be wrong. So, you know, keep this on the down low, because look at the cast difference in the speed, right? The speed of the cast, or the cast speed difference, is night and day. You have this normal cast, takes 10 years. They don't like this. They are not a fan of that. They just don't like it. So, you know, keep that one on the down low. A lot of spells can be animation canceled like that, by the way. Not every spell, but a lot of spells do have that little tech. Really long cast time by itself. Super long, right? Super long. Slow as shit. But how about this? Look at that. That's like twice as fast. I got distracted. But yeah, Hone Bolt, you know, maybe I'll keep it A. I'll keep it A. Lightning Strike, also kind of A. Similar thing as Hone Bolt, though. It's like kind of short range. This one has a long cast time, but this also can be animation canceled as well. You can kind of do the same thing with the Lightning Strike. That's slow. Super slow. Like super, super slow, right? But then you can, hopefully, if I show it here. There we go. You see what I mean? Little tech for you guys. So that makes it infinitely better. However, you know, don't tell Papa FromSoft. Keep this between us. They don't like that. This is gonna be something that's like, oh well, if you have like the PvP people, like, you know, like the darkness people. I don't know what you call them. They're like the shadow people that are like invaders, like the phantoms. They're like other players that have died and then they come back for vengeance. They're NPCs. They're not real players. That's like the only use case I would see for Law of Casualty, because you have to let them hit you for this to proc. And if you let a boss hit you, like, I think it takes like, what, 5 hits for this to proc? It's a spell that casts on itself. And when it casts on itself, you blow up if you get hit enough times. I think it's like 5 hits. But like, if you get hit 5 times by a boss, you're going to die. Litany of Proper Death can be good. There are some bosses that do live in death, and it does a lot of extra damage if they live in death. Deathrite birds, for example. All of the undead skeletons just kind of one-shots them. I do like it in very certain contexts, so I'll put it in C. I don't think it's amazing, but in the right context, it's very strong. Flame Protect Me. I'm trying to think. I think the wolf is the only one that does fire damage, right? That's gonna be, again, it's one of these supportive spells. Whirl of Flame can be easy A tier. I love it. Again, against certain bosses. The bigger the boss, the better. Erdtree Avatar, Ulcerated Tree Spirit, amazing. If they're thick and wide, super high DPS for Will of Flame. Love it, actually. Catch Flame, S tier. Not much to say. If you've used it, super low FP, super high damage, amazing, super fast cast animation. Its twin is O Flame. I think O Flame is just slightly worse. Slower, more FP. I don't think it's worth it at that point. I think it's just better to spam and stick with that. Dragon Bolt Blessing, very, very funny interaction on Banished Knights and Crucible Knights. It doesn't particularly work on bosses, but anyone that's like human-sized, one-handing a weapon or a regular weapon, you still take damage, and they bounce off of you, so you can't get comboed. So you'll never get like 10-piece chicken nugget combo with a side of, you know, fries and a large drink, right? All that stuff. Cast speed. Death Lightning. I hate Death Lightning. I don't care. I'm being a hater. It's terrible. I don't like it. Long cast time, low damage, terrible range, and Deathblight only works against human enemies, which could work for like the little invaders, but is not going to work most of the time anyways. I think you'd just be better off using like Ancient Dragon's Lightning Strike, which is like basically the same thing, albeit probably more damage. Speaking of which, we'll put this in C tier. Now this might be controversial, okay? The reason that Ancient Dragon's Lightning Strike is OP, in my opinion, is the same reason that people think Comet Azure is OP. Because you can buff it and you can set it up to do one-shots. However, in this game mode, Nightreign, you can't really do that, right? You're not going to get Jellyfish Shield, Kindred of Rot Talisman, Lord of Blood Talisman, Seppuku combo, Commander Standard Rally, Golden Vow, Flame Grip. Like, you're not going to get all of the things that you need to set this up to be as strong as it currently is, and the way that people think that is strong, right? Like, it's decent at best. Again, big hitbox, weak to lightning, could be B tier. I'll put it B just for, you know, simplicity's sake, but it's not going to be S tier or A tier because of, again, long cast time, shortish range, your mileage is vary, and you can't really buff stack like you normally can in base Elden Ring, okay? Vortex Lightning Spear, same thing as the other Ancient Dragon's Lightning Spear. I think this one is a little bit more damage and has a little bit more range, but still just kind of long cast time, can get knocked out of it, will get hit at least by a boss, unless you don't have aggro. Same with Landsack's Glaive. Kind of same thing with all of these. I'll just group these all together. They're kind of all the same. Law of Regression can be good. I don't know how often you'll find this, but I do think this is great if it's, I think it alleviates like statuses. So anything like Madness or Sleep, I'm pretty sure that should be able to cleanse all of the buildup from you, which is, you know, not bad. Especially against that one boss, Augur. The Augur boss will allow you to get rid of the sleep if you need it. So very high FP cost though. I wouldn't put it higher than C. I just like it for some certain viability, certain situational stuff. Again, most of these support spells are going to be C tier just because they're all super situational. They all depend on like different contexts of like if you're playing solo or like a team, whatever. Radagon's Rings of Light, I think that's like B tier. It's holy, so it's still good. But the problem that I have with it is that it's a really long cast time. Decent FP cost though. Let me demonstrate it again so people can distinguish these. It's not like the ranged one. It's kind of like, I would describe it as like melee range. Like not exactly, but when you look at it like this, you see it doesn't really go far. And I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. If you're like point blank, sure. But how often do you want to be this close to a boss? I do like it for the holy damage. But I think if you're going to be this close anyways, you might as well just have a holy melee weapon and not opt for this, even though the sides don't matter. Fire's Deadly Sin, C tier. It's going to be one of those things that doesn't do a whole lot of damage, but at least constantly reprocs the fire. But yeah, that's not worth the HP drain, actually. I forgot I had an HP drain. That's going in C tier. Burn No Flame. Easy S tier. If you've seen my other videos, you've seen me like damn near like chunk a boss for a third or half its HP just off one cast, fully charged. It can be a little difficult to get off, but when you get this off against a boss that's weak to fire, 26 FP is pretty generous for how much damage this puts out and how many sources of fire it emits. It's really hard to miss, but it can be risky to get off. I think if I'm being super objective, I would put it at A tier. But honestly, I'm just going to say fucking put it at S tier. I love this spell. I love this spell. Sue me. Frozen Lightning. Probably the best of the Ancient Dragons. Does lightning damage. Can apply Frostbite. Has decent range and a decent cast time. I think it's pretty solid. I don't think it's anything amazing, but it's probably one of the best Ancient Dragon lightning spells that you can honestly pick. Grail's Roar. Swarm of Flies. I'm pretty sure Swarm of Flies got nerfed. It could still be good, but I think in its current state, it's not good for getting bleed procs as it used to be. It's more damage oriented than it is bleed oriented. At least if the current balance patch is the same as Elden Ring's base game. I'm not too certain that it is. I'll have to look at the numbers more, but if it is the same, then Swarm of Flies is like kind of mid tier. I don't think it's terrible. It's good for like a bleed proc or two, especially if an enemy's weak to bleed, but nothing super. Glintstone Breath. Okay, all of the Dragon Breaths, in my opinion, are not worth it. I think all of the Dragon Breaths are going to be kind of the same. If a boss is weak to it, it's OP. I think the Ice one is better just because it's a debuffer. All of the ones that have statuses tend to be better than the ones that don't. So not bad. I think these would be the best ones. The regular ones just aren't worth it, in my opinion. Yeah, I don't know. Beast Claws. These do end up like kind of staggering little enemies, but again, these actually, no, these are D. Here's why these are D. Actually, I forgot. Beast Claws are super bad because they're physical spells. And the reason that they're bad is because they are always negative FP deficient. Because they do not generate passive. They do not generate any element passive for you to absorb. Yeah, if I absorb that, right, now there's nothing on it. And then I shoot it with this. No mark, no absorb, you get no FP back. It is always in a deficit because it doesn't apply anything. It's a physical spell, which doesn't generate an element. It's not holy damage. It's not magic. It is literally just physical damage. You can't get a mixture off of them. You can't get mana back from them. I don't care if they do good damage or decent stagger or whatever. They're always at an FP deficit and don't contribute to any cocktail mixtures. So if they did holy damage, I would put them all in like S tier. But I don't know. Black Flame Protection, A tier, honestly. This is really, really good. Because even though it reduces your FP flask healing amount, what it does offsets that so greatly that I don't think it's bad. Like, you have a reduction of FP, but there are so many ways to get increased FP, like, amount. Like, there are like passives that give you like 30% increased healing, right? The Crimson Seed is like another 10% or whatever. Like, there are so many ways to get increased flask healing that you could actually offset the debuff that it gives you pretty easily. 20% reduction to all healing, which is not that bad, especially if you get healing increased items, which are very common in these runs. I've gotten like 50% increased healing in some of my runs, so minus 20 kind of negates that, kind of overwrites it. Increases physical damage negation by 35%. Yep, I was correct. And man, it is just very nice. It's super nice. But I do like that you can stack Black Flame Protection with Golden Vow, if I'm not mistaken. Because Black Flame Protection is a body buff and Golden Vow is an aura buff, which means you can have both active, which just makes you really tanky. Almost done. Dragon Claw and Dragon Maw are two of the same. Again, they don't give you FP back, so I honestly have to rank them a lot lower just because of that, because they're all physical. No mark is generated. Good AoE, good damage, but long cast time, 34 FP costs, 24 FP costs, 50 FP costs. And you're not allowed to get anything back from it. It's got to be D tier for these, unfortunately. I'm just going to readjust that. I put the dragon spells down here that are physical. All the physical spells pretty much got to go down below. Pest Threads, again, can't really put it higher. Doesn't do good damage, can't buff stack it, and doesn't give you any FP back when you use it. Poison Mist going up here, just because you can poison at least one of the bosses with it. Poison Armament, kind of the same. Blood Boon, these are all pretty mid, honestly. Short range. Hal Shabriri, B tier, not bad. If you can get it, it is good damage. It is a good damage multiplier, but it makes you take more damage. Do not forget, sorry, 25% increased damage that you do, which applies to your spells, but also 30% more damage taken, and you aggro all enemies. So if you're playing in a group, you're actually fucking yourself over because it makes you more attracted to enemies. Like Shabriri's Woe, it gives you that passive. So yeah, definitely might be. I'm not gonna put that in A just because it makes you take so much more damage. You will get one shot. Frenzied Burst, S tier, dude. I love this spell. It is not FP efficient, but I don't care. It has insanely long range, some of the best tracking. You are pretty much always gonna hit it. It's very rare that you're gonna miss it unless an enemy's like flying away from you. But even then, if you just aim for its center of mass, like its belly instead of its head, you'll probably hit it a lot more than most times. Once it goes, like it's not a hit scan, but it's really fast. And if you're casting it at mid range, it's gonna be like near instant. Like, phew! It's gonna be very hard to miss. Charging it up does even more damage. The damage multiplier gets insanely high when you fully charge it. I love it. I love the spell. I would put it in S tier, just personally. I think it's amazing for Nightreign. Very easy to rank these though. Scarlet Ionia, I'm putting that in C. When you fly into the air with a spell and you dive bomb somebody, I'm gonna spam roll. I'm spamming roll. I'm trying to roll out. Look at how long it took me to get out of that animation, okay? And that will not stop bosses. This explosion does not stagger bosses. Bosses will eat this shit and then start beating you right in your face while you're unable to defend yourself. because of that animation lockout. I really don't like it for that. The Scarlet Rot damage is good. It's very potent Scarlet Rot. It's better than other sources of Scarlet Rot damage, if I'm not mistaken. That is all of my incantations. Again, I'll like screenshot this and post it. But again, only really like the top 3 sections really matter. Not all of these are equal. Like, I'm not going to say Poison Mist is just as strong as, you know, Malekith's Blackblade or anything. But just like in general, these are all very good spells that I would not mind using. If I like anything in S to B, S, A, B tier, I would always take if I have space for them. Like I always would take. C tier is like, man, I really must be out of options if I'm using this. And D tier is like, I would probably never take these unless I'm just bored or trying to do a challenge run. So that concludes the spell ranking tier list. Again, most of this is just based on personal preference mainly. What I like using, what I find that I can use the most. Different situations will vary. Like, you know, a boss that has more openings to cast Fortisax Lightning Spear or whatever. A boss that is weaker to Elden Stars, like holy damage, you know, whatever. It's very situational. This is a lot of it is personal preference, but also FP efficiency and, you know, consistency all around, like range, damage, how much FP it costs, because it's very precious. You know, it's very common to have a lot of these spells cost high FP, but these are some of my favorites that I've used, and hopefully you agree. And if you disagree, then, you know, everyone's entitled to their own opinion. These are the sorceries again. Just to go by slowly, all the sorceries. I'll probably conclude like a screenshot of it in like a Imgur file or something. But that's all the sorceries. And these are all the incantations. So if you enjoyed, check me out live on Twitch playing Nightreign. And if you're on Twitch, check me out on YouTube for when I probably upload this inevitably. And yeah, hopefully I'll see you all live on Twitch if you're not already here. Thanks for watching. And let me know what you like, what you dislike. Maybe I missed some sort of secret hidden tech. Sure, I'm sure of it. But based on my runs and my success with Recluse, this is what I prefer for incantations, and these are what I prefer for sorceries. So